Hello everybody, it's the 21st of February and I was going to, this was the week when I was thinking I ought to be getting on and starting some repotting, but we've got some sharp frosts forecast for the weekend. For reference, it's Tuesday today, so I'm going to leave repotting, but I've still got a few trees that I need to do some work to. Anyway, so I'm going to do a couple of apple trees in this video. There's a playlist down below and in the end screen which you can go back and see some of their progress and how they got to this stage. These were suckers from an existing apple tree in the garden, and I've no idea what rootstock that apple tree had, or even what variety of apple the apple is, because as I say, it was existing when we moved in and no label. So these were simply pulled out of the ground and cut from the main trunk where they'd popped up in the lawn, and I've been working on them for a few years, and I'm going to take these bits of wire off now. They've been on all winter, and that was just holding those because they were splayed too far apart. As expected, they've popped out a little, but they were right out. So I'm going to remove this piece as well, and then I'm going to shorten some of these pieces back. Now you can probably tell this tree is not root bound into the pot because in actual fact it is quite wobbly. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to be root pruning it this year. But I do want to shorten back some of these long branches just to stop it getting too far out of bounds. Otherwise it's just going to sort of sprawl everywhere. And some of these branches have got little bulges which are a bit unsightly. So just a question of where to cut, where it looks like it's going to break in the direction that I want. So there's a bud here, for example, so chop there, hopefully that'll go that away. So I'm obviously trying to prune it almost as you would a full-size apple tree, in keeping it open so that the air can get through in a kind of goblet. I think they call it a goblet shape. So obviously this has got a kind of, an interesting branch structure. I'm happy with the branch structure, the main branch structure. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking with this branch. It sort of goes that way and then comes back. A bit strange. On the other hand, this side would be quite bare without it. I'm going to leave it for now. Maybe it'll pop something here later, and if so I can remove it if it still offends me. For now it's not annoying me enough to make me want to say cut that off. Let me know what you think down below. Would you keep it or would you lose it? Going to give it some controlled release fertilizer, and the actual level of the compost has gone down in the pot. I don't know whether I've washed it away, whether I never filled it to the top. We don't want to fill it all the way to the top, leave a little room for watering perhaps, but we do seem to have some gap, which I'm going to just top dress with some fresh of my bonsai mix, and that will also serve to keep that controlled release fertilizer in contact with the damp soil, so it will release the feed as opposed to just sitting on the surface and possibly drying out, at which point it obviously it relies on being damp and temperature to release the feed. Okay, can in for scale. Give me a quick 360 of that one, and then we'll look at one of the others. I know in this playlist I've got more than just the two I'm doing today, but time's sort of limited, so you do what you can. This one's slightly smaller and always puts me in mind of an old orchard where I used to walk Cooper. It's too far from where I would park the car for him to be able to make it these days, but there was an old orchard we used to walk by along the public footpath, and had a couple of old trees that have been there for years, real old campaigners that had fallen at sort of angles like this, and were still growing. Still, talk of the devil, look. Cooper, did you hear the dog bark? I did too. Oh, how very dare they. Anyway, where was we? Oh yes, still growing, still producing apples. So again, I'm just going to be doing some shortening back on this tree. This 2 is wired, so I'll quickly remove that before it starts to cut in as the tree grows. I think it's done its job. If not, I will rewire it later in the year. Don't like that piece. Now shorten that. Shorten that. In fact, I'm going to shorten that off. Allow those 2 pieces, and I'm going to take off that piece which is growing back. Okay, so again, top dressing with the controlled release fertilizer. And then a little bit more fresh bonsai compost. Again, this tree is not ready for repotting because it's still fairly loose in the pot. Can in for scale, and round we go. And I'll obviously do an update later in the summer on how these trees respond and the others in this little group, and hopefully they will grow and we'll get some more ramification. I doubt if I'll get any apple blossom. You never know, but I doubt it. All that's left to be said is thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, commenting below. Most of all, please stay safe, everybody.